Good morning, Unity of Medina. How are you all doing today? It is a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. I'm standing here like I'm freezing because I am. And so I think we should all just get up and move around. No. No worries, no worries. I can make it. I can tough it out. It's interesting because, we go outside and we think, oh my God, it's so hot. And then we go inside and we're like, oh my God, I'm so cold. It's like we're never happy with anything, any choice that we have. But today outside is pretty pleasant. I think it's a great day. And there's an arts festival today, right, in Medina, in the square. And I don't know if you guys are going, but I was thinking of venturing out to check it out and see what I don't need to buy. So I'm looking forward to that. So the theme for this month is creativity. So I decided that I would do what I call the spiritual practice of creativity, and what that means for me and how we might be able to use it in our community and as individuals. So I'm very excited about today's talk. But I'd like to go ahead and open us up in prayer. So I'm just going to take a deep breath and center in to my heart. Lower my gaze or close my eyes. And I want you to feel the openness of every breath. The expansion of your chest. And in this space of infinite possibilities, we see everything good. Not that there aren't challenges, not that there isn't despair, but we see the good knowing that God is in the midst of all of it. That one power, that one presence that we call God, the divine, the goddess, creator. That power that moves in, through, and as each one of us, throughout each day, throughout each moment. And gives us the energy, the imagination, the courage to get up every day and say, thank you, God. And so as we move forward into our day, let us remember those in our congregation or outside of our congregation for whom we might want to pray. And I add a special prayer of healing for Will Klingel, who broke his hip last week, and so he'll be out for a little bit. We just hold him in that infinite space of healing light. And anyone who is having any kind of dis-ease or discomfort, let us hold them all in that Christ light. and see the perfection that they are as infinite divine beings. And know that even in their human experience, they have the power to heal through their thoughts and their actions. And we are so grateful for all the possibilities. It makes me feel good to know that as I move forward with confidence, with creativity, and with kindness, that I am helping to make the world a better place. I say thank you, God, for all of it. And so it is. Amen. Now, let's get up carefully so nobody falls and hurts themselves. But we're going to start with our opening song, and then we'll continue through the service. Thank you.
Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. When I feel afraid, think I've lost my way, still you're there right beside me. Nothing will I fear as long as you are near. Please be near me to the end. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Nothing will replace your love for me, and yet my heart forever is wandering. Spirit, be my guide and hold me to your side, and I will follow to the end. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Nothing will I fear as long as you are near. Please be near me to the end. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path, and a light unto my path. You're the light unto my path.
Says here you may be seated, but you already are, so we won't even have to go there. Welcome again to Unity of Medina. We here at Unity affirm our core values of integrity, joy, acceptance, love, and spiritual growth. July is the power of understanding. Reverend Michele will now light the gold candle. As she's lighting the candle, let us affirm together our affirmation for the month for the power of understanding. My understanding of truth deepens and directs my life. Today's daily word is surrender. The affirmation is, spiritual surrender is my path to peace. It's natural to have ideas or preferences about things, how things should be, and work toward the results I want. But I can exhaust myself if I attempt to exert control over my life circumstances. In fact, the more I try, the less control I feel I have. Releasing the illusion of control, I practice spiritual surrender, so much more than giving up, surrendering my efforts and my hopes to the divine within me is an act of empowerment. It means living by faith that God is in and through all things. It means trusting that there are outcomes better than the ones I have imagined. I surrender to God's peace and perfection within me. I give up trying to control outcomes and relax, welcoming serendipity and ease. Surrender is the way. Today's passage is taken from Proverbs chapter 23, verse 26. My child, give me your heart and let your eyes observe my ways. And now Angie will prepare us for meditation.
There's a light that shines on forever, beyond the earth, the stars and the heavens. The greatest joy in all of creation is the light that shines within the heart. Make peace, though you are restless, when you find yourself in a world of suffering. Let love be your protection, and kindness be your sword. There's a light that shines on forever, beyond the earth, the stars and the heavens. The greatest joy in all of creation is the light that shines within the heart.
That shines within your heart. Focus on that now. See it beaming throughout your body. See it emanating from your toes and your fingers, out the tops of your head. That light that shines on forever is your creative expression, is your guide. Take a moment to think of something that you would like to do, but you don't know how to start. There are infinite possibilities available. Open up your mind, open up your heart to that Christ presence, and just breathe in to the knowing. What is the next step? How can I get there? What do I need to do? What are the tools? Whatever comes up, whether you have it or not, hold it in that space of creativity. You are being given divine ideas. You are creating thoughts and possibilities. And now think of something in your life that maybe brings you some distress. Something that you feel you can't do anything about. In this moment, you can surrender to that divine light. Let go of control. And know that the God of your understanding is with you through it. And that even now, you are being led to divine ideas that can guide you and move you forward. Hold this in your heart. See the path. Find the good. And as Angie continues to play with those thoughts in your mind. Think of new possibilities. Things maybe you haven't even thought of yet. And what is yours to do in the days ahead. And if you haven't yet, please open your eyes. Welcome back. Sorry. The spiritual practice of creativity. How many of you have a creative side of you? And how many of you do it regularly as a spiritual practice? I myself like to journal, and I like to draw in my coloring books, but I don't do it all the time. Like, I always feel like there's something else that I have to do before I can enjoy that. But what if the practice of creativity actually opened us up to the divine? What if everything that we do, whether it be cooking or cleaning or artistic projects, dancing, anything that we think of throughout the day that seems like part of the everyday, we can turn it into a sacred practice. We just have to think about it that way in our thoughts. There are a lot of definitions of the word creativity, but the one that I liked, that I thought was useful, was one that came from, I can't read it because it's too small, a book called Human Motivation by Robert Franklin. He says that creativity is defined as the tendency to generate or recognize ideas, alternatives, or possibilities that may be useful in solving problems, communicating with others, and entertaining ourselves and others. And I like that because it is generating ideas, looking for other possible uses. But the one part that I think it's missing is how we take care of others. It says that we entertain others, but it's not talking about any kind of service to others. So that is the primary focus that I have today. Oops. And I didn't bring my Bible, but I wrote out, or I didn't write it out. I copied and pasted it into Word. The parable of the talents. And it is kind of long, and I know some of you have heard it, but I'd like to just read it so that I can use it as a reference as I continue my talk. So the parable of the talents is a story that Jesus gives in response to questions that the disciples and his followers had. And he says, "For it is like a man going on a journey who summoned his servants and entrusted his property with them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and another 1, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The one who had received the 5 talents went off right away and put his money to work and gained 5 more. In the same way, the one who had 2 gained 2 more. But the one who had received 1 talent went out and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money in it." After a long time, the master of those slaves came back and settled his accounts with them. The one who had received the 5 talents came and brought him 5 more, saying, 'You entrusted me with 5 talents. See, I have gained 5 more.' His master answered, 'Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master.' The one with the 2 talents also came and said, 'Sir, you entrusted 2 talents to me. See, I have gained 2 more.' His master answered, 'Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master.' Then the one who received the 1 talent came and said, 'Sir, I knew that you were a hard man, harvesting where you did not sow, and gathering where you did not scatter seed. So I was afraid, and I went and I hid your talent in the ground. You have what is yours.' But his master answered, 'Evil and lazy servant. Then you should have deposited my money with the bankers, and on my return I would have received my money back with interest. Therefore take the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10. For the one who has will be given more, and he will have more than enough. But the one who does not have, even what he has will be taken from him. And throw that worthless slave into the outer darkness, where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth.'" That's always my favorite part, the weeping and gnashing of teeth. So what is it about the parable of the talents? A lot of people interpret that as a prosperity story, where as you are given, you give back in some way, and that you are constantly in that flow of giving and receiving. But I wanted to look at it in terms of creativity. If you think about it from a historical perspective, Jesus was not talking to Christians, he was talking to other Jewish people. And in the Jewish tradition, the words that were translated into Greek later would have had possible other meanings. So the talent that they're talking about for us relates to a measure of goods or a measure of money, if that makes it easier for you. But in the Jewish tradition, it was a value that has been given to you. And so knowing that he's not talking about a Christian behavior, but a Jewish behavior, he would be using words and phrases that would mean something to them. And so now we're like 2,000 years later trying to interpret what all that was when we have 300 different Bible versions and different words all over the place. So I'm not saying that this is the only way to interpret it. This is the way I interpret it. And so if you don't like the way I do that, you can think of it any way you like. But one of the things that I liked about the parable of the talents is that it talks about how the master gives to each servant that to which is their ability. And I find that sentence one of the most interesting, because it makes it sound like each one is given a gift that only he or she can work with. And so I like to think of that as our individual mind, our humanness, that in our spiritual nature, God has planted different gifts in each of us, that we are able to do some things better than others. And some people have really creative ideas, and some people are really good at finances, and some people are really good at building, but they're all part of that creative process. How many of you, when you were a little kid, wanted to grow up to be something that you didn't grow up to be? I wanted to be a detective. And I was always looking into papers that I wasn't supposed to be looking into and pretending that I was discovering new possibilities. And I loved to read Trixie Belden and Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys and all those, Agatha Christie and Sherlock Holmes. Those were my favorite books to read. And I never became a detective. I had no idea what I was, that I, would do other things. But then I started thinking about it. So as a network engineer, I had to think about what was happening when there was a problem. I had to dig into it. I had to research it. I had to figure out what was wrong. And then I got the ability to help fix it. And I was pretty good at that. So I did that for many years. But even as when I was in customer service, when I was just trying to help people in a store, because I worked at Marshall Fields for a while, I tuned into what they really wanted, not what they were asking for. So if a customer asked for help, I tried to figure out what was the real thing they were looking for. And so when I worked at Marshall Fields and when I worked at Lane Bryant, I was really good at picking out outfits for people and finding things that they could use. And sometimes they went away without buying anything, and sometimes they bought what they wanted to get, but they were always very thankful for my generous spirit and my ability to offer help. So I think that's part of one of those gifts that I was given, that even though I'm not a detective, I was always able to detect what was most important in that moment. And so when I got my calling to become a minister, I thought, well, there I go again. I'm not going to be that detective. But I am now looking into these scripture. I'm looking into the neuroscience behind the spirituality of unity. And I am totally fascinated and willing to dive deep into what those things mean. I guess what my point is that I'm using what I was given more than I think I am. So is there something that I can do to be more uplifted? Is there something else that I can do to use whatever talents that I have? Now, I'm lucky because I feel truly blessed because, and I'm not bragging, I'm just, this is what I've learned over the years, that, I have a certain intelligence, that I can be funny, that I am good at solving problems, but I'm not good at everything. I was a really horrible server. I didn't make any tips because I was really bad. And I'm not so good at making personal good choices. I'm not going to go into detail about that. Just take my word for it. So sometimes I get a little overambitious and I just kind of throw caution to the wind and I go and I do stuff and then, it comes back and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So when I think about this story, when I think about the talents, so the one person is given 5 talents and the other person is given 2 talents and the other person is given 1. It's not that one was given more because they deserve more. It was just that they were given things in a way that allowed them to grow as themselves. And if I know the language, of the master and the servant is a problem for a lot of people, and I understand that. But in this case, I would say that the master is our expression of God. That God is giving us these gifts, these talents. And so what we know from the story is that the ones that used their talents and expanded their awareness and raised their consciousness were rewarded by the joy of the kingdom. While the one man who hid it away and put it in the earth didn't get anything, got what he had taken away, and then he was sent out into the darkness. And so in Christian tradition, we think of the darkness, because of the weeping and gnashing of teeth, as hell. But if I think of it from a unity perspective, that darkness is just the absence of God. That when we don't use the gifts that we've been given, when we don't try to do something that's out of our comfort zone, we are not living as our true selves. We are not living in that divine consciousness of possibility. And so what happened to that man was that he lost everything. He moved away from God. He went out into the darkness. And so, of course, he was sad. Of course, he felt unworthy. And I don't want anyone to get to that place. So what I'm looking at in this story is, how can we make life more fun, more creative? How can we come up with more divine ideas? I think y'all know where I'm going with this. Because we have the power to create our reality through our thoughts and our actions. We have tons of stuff going on in the world around us, and there's a lot of horrible stuff going on, and there's a lot of good that is happening too. And I'm not saying that we should ignore the things that are happening around us. I'm just saying that what gifts, I try to look at it as, what gifts do I have that might make a difference in one of those circumstances? Is there anything that I can do to make life better It might not be going down to Texas and helping to rebuild the floods. It might not be protesting. It might be creating open space for people to join in community, to pray. It might be just giving people a way to find respite from their daily lives and just come and be. I almost didn't think that that was enough because of everything that's going on, but I know that it's a talent that I have. So I know that I can dig deeper into what is mine to do. I can figure out what are my talents and gifts and how can I use them to make the world better. And when we do that, we raise not only our awareness and our consciousness, but we raise the consciousness of the global community. It might only be a fraction, but it helps. Every little bit helps. I was gonna say something. Oh, so also in I think it's in the Jewish tradition. I got a lot of my stuff from some online Hebrew websites. They talk about the gifts, the talent, as part of your soul. So if we look at this from a soul perspective, each one of us has a soul. We are a soul. And we are a common collective of oneness of souls. But as individuals, we all show up in a different way with that soul. And so our gift is those things that we can do to expand our soul, to expand our consciousness, to raise ourselves up. And from my perspective, what Jesus is saying in this story is that we need to do the best that we can with what we have, and we will make a difference. The part that I want to get back to, though, is how can I do this not just for myself to make myself feel better, but how can I do this for others? Because that was the other piece of that story from a Jewish perspective, is that it wasn't talents that we use for ourselves to make ourselves richer, to make ourselves better than others. It was, how do we use these gifts in service to the divine? And in service to the divine, we work with each other. We see each other as that Christ light. We see each other from a perspective of hope. Just this morning, I was making my morning stop at the Circle K for my big Diet Coke that I'm not supposed to drink. And I got out of my car, and a lady drove up, and she's like, "Do you have a couple of dollars?" And I'm like, I really don't. I mean, because I don't carry cash, because we're kind of a cashless society. I mean, I just really didn't have anything. I said, "But what do you need it for? Do you need it for gas?" And she said, "Well, really, I was hungry." And I said, "Well, come into the store, and I'll buy you something for breakfast." She's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Well, of course." I said, "You asked, and I wanna help." So she started out with a bowl of soup, and I thought, oh, she's getting something, semi-nutritious for herself. But she ended up with a bag of chips because she didn't want me to spend all my money, which I thought was really interesting because she would have taken whatever I had given her and, maybe ended up with something else. But she was really grateful. And I felt really good in that moment that I was able to do just one small thing. And I know that there are people that are like, well, sometimes people are just lazy and they just, are asking for money and they don't really need it, and, they're not really trying to find work. And my mind just doesn't go there. Because we are all children of God. And we have all been placed on this earth for some reason. It might be to show us how not to be. But as we can see in the world today, we have a lot of people that make a lot of money that aren't so very nice people. So why should I treat somebody that has nothing any differently than I would treat somebody that has everything? And so that's where my gifts come in. You might not have done that, and that's okay. I'm not judging anybody. On a different day, I might not have done it myself. But in that moment, I was feeling called to do that, to say, hey, come with me. And usually what happens if I offer to buy somebody something, they just say no and they go away. She actually stopped, got out of her car, and came in with me. And so I know in that moment that I made a difference, that I was using my talents to the betterment of myself and others. And I love how it happened on the same morning I was going to give this talk. Spirit always provides me with what I need. So getting back to that creativity part, you might not think that that was very creative. But remember, creativity is the act of creating potential. It is looking at things from a different perspective and then acting on it. Whether it's artistic drawing or beautiful piano music or even our wonderful tech assistant and all the work that he does for us, whether it's any one of you that does something here for Unity of Medina, you're doing it not out of obligation, I hope, but out of love for the community, out of wanting to do something better, out of using the talents that you have to make a difference. And so as we continue as Unity of Medina, I would like to ask you to do some homework. We are embarking on a new era of Unity of Medina. It's all new. So what kinds of things can you think of using the talents that you think you possess that would be beneficial to help the Unity of Medina? Because we know that the message that we give in unity is that of love, is that of trust, and of oneness. So if we can expand our horizons here at Unity of Medina, we can expand into the community. We can expand into the city. We can expand out into the world, and we can make a better place using our creativity. So there is a suggestion box out front, outside. Those of you online, can send an email from, if you get the newsletter, you can just reply to the newsletter and it will come to you. And just bring me your ideas. What kinds of things came up for you that sounded like a good idea? I'm not saying we're going to do them all. I'm not saying, I just want to hear what you have, what your perspective is, because I'm not in this alone. And I want to do what makes everyone as happy as possible. I know I can't please everyone, but I'm going to do my best to please most of you. So I just say, do your homework, come back next week, write out a slip. If you think of something before you leave, you can put it on a slip, or send me an email, unity@unityofmedina.org, and let me know what you see as the new creative expression that we can be at Unity of Medina. Thank you.
I like this topic. As you know, music's my thing. So I have a song that I wrote during a time that I was going through a difficult time, and I had insomnia really bad. And instead of just like fighting it and getting frustrated that I wasn't sleeping, I was like, well, I guess I'll write something. But I even struggled with that. So I decided to kind of make it a game. So when you're talking about like the lightheartedness of it, what I did was there's this app called Snapchat, and it only gives you like so much time between like the videos. So I made it a game that I had to write a verse in the amount of time that it allowed me, which is like a few seconds, like 30 seconds or something like that. So I wrote this whole song, and what's interesting about it was because instead of, like I said, fighting the not sleeping and leaning into the creativity part, which has always been really spiritual for me, I got a whole song out of it. And then this song has been something that I've been asked to do for celebrations of life, which I just did last night. And even during the pandemic, there was somebody who used this for a video. So it's kind of just an interesting thing when you're talking about that creativity and leaning into it. This is something that came up for me. So this is called There Is Life, Carry On. When the moon has turned on and the silence has dawned, there is life, and it aches with song. There is life, carry on. When the stars can foresee every age and story, there is life, when it hurts to breathe. There is life, let it be. And the sun can be cruel in facing the day, as if telling the night not to stay. So be strong, and when your slumber has gone, there is life, there is life. You'll always belong. There is life, and it aches with song. There is life, welcome the night, carry on.
Thank you, Angie. That was beautiful. And written in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
All right. Michele, I want to thank you for that topic, especially about what you want to be when you grow up. I still don't know. So, at this stage of the game, my goal is to get older without getting old. So, we'll try that on for size. See how that works out. We're going to have some announcements. We'll start with the bad news. Well, we'll start with the news. There is no good or bad news. It's all in our mind. The finances for June, our income was $4,722.10. Our expenses were $6,623.13. That's a negative of $1,901.03. Now, it's not as bad as it might seem, because sometimes it depends on where the month ends. There's an overlap, and we'll pick it up maybe in July. It'll look differently. So you can't really judge how things are going by 1 month. But we thank you for your continued generosity and support of Unity of Medina. We hold steadfast to the truth that divine substance is always present and flowing. I have some announcements. August 3rd, we will have our church community picnic. Sunday service will be held here at a normal time. And then after the service, at 11:30, we'll go to Memorial Park, which if you don't know where it is, you go up here to the stop sign, make a left, and follow it all the way out. It'll take you right to it. Can't miss it. Please bring your choice of protein for grilling, which meat or whatever you want, a side dish or dessert to share. There's a sign-up sheet in the back of the church to let us know what you're bringing. We need help with setup, cleanup, grilling, and coordination of the event. Now, on the sign-up for dishes, we really don't need 15 bowls of macaroni salad, so kind of keep that in mind. The pavilion is available till 4 p.m., so bring board games, cards, etc., to hang out and enjoy one another's company. If you have any ideas for classes or events to have over the next year, please bring your ideas to Reverend Michele, and stay tuned for more upcoming classes and activities in the coming months. And now Reverend Michele will lead us in blessing one another and any guests that are here today.
Thank you. I know we have a friend here. She's come before, but she is our guest. Hello. Sorry you can't see me. Or I can't see you. I don't know which one's worse. Are there any other people here? All right, so... no, we're just figments of imagination. Right, I didn't mean it that way, yeah. I didn't end that sentence well. Anyway, so let us bless one another. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you Thank you for being here. And now we come to that time in our service where we ask for your support of Unity of Medina from a financial position. Whether you give a little or you give a lot, the fact that you give means the world to us. We know that each gift that is given is being given with love and intention and for the good of Unity of Medina. So let us take our love offerings in our hands and say together our offertory prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We are grateful.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
We say thank you for each gift that was given here today and anything that was given online. We know that through you, Unity of Medina will continue to thrive and be a blessing to everyone, everywhere. We say thank you for the prayers in the prayer box, for healing, for wholeness, for courage. Whatever the prayer may be, we know that it will be answered. And we take our gifts, our talents, out into the world so that we can bless and heal there. And we see that world growing, expanding in love, and being a world that works for all people. And we say thank you, God, for all of this. And so it is. Amen. Well, thank you all for being here today. Let us get together in our circle of love for the peace song. Have a great week.